Hi everyone. So we are continuing my weekly journey. I know it's a bit late because I think all of us are excited to watch .NET Conf on 12th November. Me too. I'm also excited. And honestly, I am quite drowned in the excitement of .NET 9 release. But unfortunately, well, I face some problems. I'll let you know after in the demo. So as promised from last week video, I'm going to continue more detail on trimming because honestly, last video only gives you some quick samples and we got some gotchas that trimming doesn't work on both WinForms and WPF. But that was .NET 8. I don't know whether still not working or not. Well, let's see. And hopefully I could do some quick intro first on .NET 9 and why I'm putting trimmer on also on this video, this 19th video of mine, because I think it would be interesting to compare the trimming on .NET 8 against trimming on .NET 9. Okay, but let's start this and don't forget to like and subscribe. Uh, Area 1, based on Indonesia. This is my LinkedIn, or you just search for my name on LinkedIn. My GitHub ID is Area1, and I'm a member of .NET Foundation Project Onboarding Committee. Right now, it's just called Project Committee. Yep, you can please ping me on GitHub or LinkedIn if you want to have your project to be registered to have support from .NET Foundation. And the plan update so far. And now we are celebrating the release of .NET 9. This is why there is a new point 4, discuss .NET 9. Of course, the discussion of .NET 9 is also including the new features of .NET 9. And there is no new app-specific features, like there will be no kinds of, newer than .NET MAUI or whatever. We are still having the same, and let's dive in. So this is video or episode 19, focusing on .NET 8 to .NET 9. Okay, now you are talking first about the specific facts. So .NET 9 was initially released just now, or about 2 days ago. It was released on 12th November. So why I'm taking a day, because the .NET Conf was on US time zone, and it was about 11 to 12 hours different from my time zone, which is I'm UTC +7 or GMT +7. So I think I need a day to not just watching the .NET Conf, but also trying to download and also update my Visual Studio. Unfortunately, I could not update uh, on that 12th November at the start of the .NET Conf. So I was able to update on early morning of 13th November, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's the fact, and it took me a while, and also not just updating my Visual Studio, but also checking the updates on my WSL Linux distro installation. And honestly, it was not quite pleasant, but please bear with me. So next one, it has an odd major vision. This means this .NET 9 is STS release or short-term servicing release with support time frame of 1.5 years or 1 year 6 months compared to .NET 8 and the upcoming version 10 next year that will have support time frame of 3 years. SDK version of this release version is of course starting from 9.0. The feature segment is 100. Runtime version is 9.0.0. And we also, as usual, the recurring theme, we also have a version of Visual Studio that supports .NET 9. And that means you have to upgrade your Visual Studio. Previously, I was always talking that I have 17.11. Now I have to upgrade to 17.12. And this update of Visual Studio is released at the same time, the same day of .NET 9, just like we have on the 2023, the update to .NET 8 also have update from Visual Studio to support .NET 8. Also, the Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and the support also available since 12 November. And if you are developing for MAUI, that MAUI is in sync with .NET 9, but the way you install, as I've mentioned in the previous weeks, you have to install it as workloads. Fortunately, that was available since 12 November, but it depends on the initial SDK availability. So the last point, hopefully, could explain why. Linux support are not the same for all distro. I mean, the latest status or condition are not the same. For Ubuntu, even until now, this Friday, it doesn't have a way to install the .NET 9 SDK yet. And unfortunately, that's it. And the surprising thing is, if you have Ubuntu and you want to install .NET 9, Microsoft in the documentation already mentioned that you need to have Ubuntu at least, or minimum version is version 24.04. And fortunately, this is the LTS version. But yeah, you still have to update your Ubuntu. And this is why I still also need some time to install this Ubuntu version on my machine. Unfortunately, I have to install a new Ubuntu distro because I don't know how to upgrade my existing Ubuntu that I already have. But I think I'll leave it that way because it has version of 20.04 if I'm not mistaken. Now I have both 20 and 24. But in this version of 24, it is recommended to install via Snap. And as of this day, I can have .NET 9 on OpenSUSE or SUSE or whatever. I don't know how to correctly spell this one. OpenSUSE Lib version 15. That includes 15.5 and 15.6. That support, or you can install .NET 9 SDK on top of OpenSUSE Lib. So the recommended, or I think the required version to be safe, yeah, is Lib version 15. And I also install it and try to install it. The nice thing about OpenSUSE Lib installation for if I want to install the .NET 9 SDK is I don't have to use Snap tool. But yeah, it depends on what your preferences. For installing .NET 9 on Ubuntu 24.04, I still stand to recommend you to install via Snap tool. It is more tedious. You have to do more steps than usual, but I think it is the safest option for me this time or for now. So this slide is the detailed, you know, facts or quirks or what have you to explain my confusion about Linux support. So on Ubuntu, it requires 24.04 and it is recommended to install .NET SDK using Snap. I know I should mention that using Snap is not highly recommended by Microsoft because the documentation doesn't say that. But from my own experience, I think you should use Snap because Ubuntu version 24.04 has .NET 8.0 SDK by default, but it is using SDK 8.0.110. Unfortunately, I already mapped the .NET root and the other settings to my new Snap installation on Ubuntu, so I could not, uh, I could not, or I don't know how to give you the installed SDK that is not using Snap. And if I use the existing SDK of .NET 8.0, I will get 110. Why it is matter from me? I know that 8.0.110 is not the first release. 110 has some, security patches and many things, but it is not in sync with settings on my Windows because I'm using um, Visual Studio 2009, 2022, 17.11 before, and that Visual Studio 2022 17.11, the latest one has installed the 8.0.400 by default. So I need to ensure that the installation on the Ubuntu and on my Windows machine that has Visual Studio, because you all know that Visual Studio cannot run on Linux. The one that can run on Linux is Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio, not the Visual IDE version of Visual Studio family. So again, I have to use or I have to ensure that I have the .NET 8 by default, and I cannot do that, so I use Snap. So again, unfortunately, as of not just 13 November, as of now, yes, it is now 15. I don't have the available, you know, .NET SDK installation yet. So that's yeah, that worries me a little bit. Hopefully, tomorrow I could get .NET 9 on my Ubuntu. Next, on OpenSUSE lib, yeah, currently I use lib 15.6, but you can also install it on lib 15.5. I already tried it on other machine. It is, yeah, it is doable, and you can still install .NET 9, and you don't have to use Snap for it because any OpenSUSE lib, either version 15 or the latest one that I have now, 15.6, doesn't have .SDK by default. So yeah, you can install it manually. There are other supported distros such as Alpine, Fedora, but yeah, unfortunately, I haven't got the time to try them as of 13 to 14 November because I have struggled to install those update on my Linux. Oh, just to let you know, for you, especially if you are watching this video and you are from Indonesia, you are speaking Indonesian natively or you are an Indonesian citizen, normally you will want Indonesian videos. So I have prepared a tutorial of .NET starting from .NET 9, and I've already prepared the initial videos, of course, but it still needs some polishing. So after you see this, I will upload it, and hopefully I could have regular updates on certain days. Like this one should be on every Thursday. I don't know, maybe that video on every Friday or every Saturday. So I haven't decided yet, but it should be available on the latest on Saturday. So stay tuned. And again, if you want to keep up with that video, you can subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell notification button to ensure that you will always be notified of my new videos. Okay, I have to explain this quite some time and take some time, but hopefully it is useful because this is the current condition for Linux for now. It doesn't mean that you cannot have on Linux. Yes, you can use OpenSUSE to start to compile and run the .NET on OpenSUSE, because the difference between these OpenSUSE Live version 15.6 and Ubuntu 24.04, to me, it is not much, or you can ignore that difference as long as you follow the documentation from Microsoft and you follow the recommendation as stated in the official docs of Microsoft .NET SDK. So let's continue. Next one. Of course, you have what's new in .NET 9, but the list of what's new is very, very exhaustive. You will see a lot of new things, and to me, it's hard to follow all of them, of course, in one go. So I only mention there is notable points in this one, in this release. So first point is new ability to run unit tests in parallel. This is enabled by the new SDK-based project, meaning that there will be some XML element that you already see in the CS procs, VNB procs, or whatever that project SDK, and that if you set to true, you will be able to run unit tests in parallel. And I will demo this thing in the next video because this requires me to write some unit tests, and you cannot do parallel if you only have one or two unit tests. To me, is you cannot do the parallel demo. You need to have at least from 8 to 10 unit tests to show that you are running in parallel. So I have to prepare for this one. And the next point is SDK can detect and adjust for version mismatch between the SDK and MS build. Honestly, I haven't tried the second point yet, but after the video, I will try, and if it is doable in a quick demo, or if it is taking less than 10 minutes, I will try to demo this on also on next video on the 20th video. So that will be next week. Okay, the third one is NuGet security audits run on both direct and transitive package reference by default. This is already available on .NET 8, but it is not enabled by default on .NET 8. Now in .NET 9, it is enabled by default. I know that some of you are usually ignoring this, but this is, I think, a good switch to enable by default. as we have to be aware that if we are going to, use third-party NuGet officially, we have to be sure that it is secure and it is also keeping up with the CVS fix. The not the CVS, CVE, sorry, CVE. Those security vulnerability reports, you need to have a correct version that has the update to already fix that security vulnerability, and it is enabled by default, so you always have checking during the build and usually during the restore, to be exact. And then a new AI layer of abstraction in the new Microsoft.extensions.ai and Microsoft.extension.vector data. You know that AI, some part of or some features of AI is using vector as its data because they are more fit to to process data for AI, especially if you are going to analyze sentiments or analyze anomalies. There is usually factor as its data compared to the normal data, such as relational data, because relational data is usually you know hierarchical, but vector data is not hierarchical. So somehow it fits into more like NoSQL data instead of SQL data or relational data, but that will require discussion not within this scope of this one. And fortunately, these abstractions are available as external NuGet packages. But don't worry, it is coming from Microsoft, so support is always available. Although this is not part of the SDK by default. So, and then this is also, you can also consider this SPNet Core new thing is a little bit disappointing because now we have built-in support for OpenAPI, or some of you may say it is Swagger, but this OpenAPI is already a standard, so let's call now this Swagger or API documentation as OpenAPI. It's already official. This built-in support means remove inclusion dependency of swashbuckle that was included in ASP.NET Core template before .NET 9. So you will see this swashbuckle in .NET 8 and .NET 7. If you ask me why Microsoft decided to do this, because the reason I think it is not that simple, but Microsoft, one of the main obvious reason to have their own support for OpenAPI means that they want ASP.NET Core to have support for OpenAPI that is more in line with .NET Core. If you have Swashbuckle, that NuGet is using .NET Standard by default instead of .NET Core. I'll show you later. If you go to the NuGet landing for Swashbuckle, you'll see that it doesn't have direct FM support for .NET 5 or .NET 6. If you have direct FM support for .NET 6, that also can be problematic if .NET 9 has breaking changes quite or depart differently from .NET 6. So I think it would be nice to have OpenAPI that goes along with the .NET releases directly from Microsoft. If you say, yeah, then it will be hard to, complain or filing a bug. I think that will be easy because .NET is already, the .NET Core, or now we have .NET 9, is already open source from the beginning. So please submit your feedback, and if you want to, you can also submit PR for that. That would be great because that is the spirit of open source, and I think you all know it. So the next one is, and I think this one is very good news. The release of the .NET Aspire that we have seen before the .NET 9, it is released after the .NET 8, but that release is not a full release. It's somehow it's like a can be considered as an out of band or outside the cadence of .NET. Now the .NET Aspire SDK is more in sync with .NET 9, and these libraries are available as external NuGet packages. But it is also available as workload if I'm not mistaken. So for more information, you can see that there is link to the official documentation. I use the ANUS because this is common by default. So ANUS.NET Aspire get started Aspire overview. Okay, if you view it on this based on your own country, this will change as long as the country is supported by the official docs team. Okay, so let's recap the core technologies. This is also still valid for .NET 9, and there is no new core large component outside these. So let's look at trimmer. But before that, I'm going to demo you .NET 9. So let's switch to my command prompt here. Okay, I will also try to explain that the repo now has a different source. Right now, I'm going to start to focus on .NET 9. So we have the source folder here, and also the source.NET 9 folder. So source.NET 9 will contain all of the code that is targeted for .NET 9 and later only. So it will not have the .NET 8 TFM. So I'm going to go to the source here. Let's see the hello.NET console. This is the original .NET 8. And if you look at the available global JSON in this folder is set to 8.0.300. This one is the SDK version that I stamp or mark this folder to have SDK version at least version 8.0.30 because I have rolled forward to latest feature. Again, I roll forward to latest feature. That means that on this machine, I have to have SDK version equal to large or greater than 8.0.300. So let's look at the .NET info. I think list of SDKs directly. SDKs. Yeah. I have 8044. I have 90 release candidate because previously this was installed by Visual Studio 2022 preview, and now I also have the release 90100. So just to show you, I'm going to run this hello.net console. Oh, I need to supply the dash dash project. There you are. Take some time. Oh, okay. Okay, this hello.net console contains multiple TFM. Okay, let's just use net x0. Yep. And we have x.0.11. Previously we have x.0 but 10, but it doesn't matter because I already specify the roll forward. Okay, this works. And I'm going to go to the .NET 9 as I mentioned before just now. So there is a source .NET 9 and let's run it. Let's run project hello .NET console 9. Since I only have one TFM, I don't have to specify the dash F. Let's try to run this one. Now we have .NET 9. 9.0.0. Of course, this is the initial version or initial release version. And the rest is the same. It will display the current date and time. We have here a normal .NET console. Now the exciting things, let's try to run the publish single file combined with the trimmer on this hello.NET console and try to compare. Okay, I need to go back to the documentation. So, yeah, don't know why it is closed unexpectedly. Yeah, this is the landing page of the Aspire, but I'm going to open a new documentation of that. Publish. Um, there you are, SDK. So once you Visual Studio Processing, I'm going to open this one. Single file deployment. So I'm not going to touch the CS prods. I'll just use the CLI option. Of course, I need to specify the runtime identifier. But I think I should not do that for console, I believe. But let's try. I just copy this, publish single file. Oh, wait. Oh, self-contained. I'll use this. Yep. And paste this. Remove the RID because this is Windows. And self-contained set to true. Okay, I need to ensure to specify the project to publish this. Wait. There are no samples. It should be. Um, okay. There should be. There should be. Let's open this one in new tab. I need to check the sequence or the actual options. Add package. No, 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 not this one. Publish, use, self-content true. There should be a link to .NET Publish. Oh wow. Okay. Before this, I need to see the list of available option dash H. Okay. .NET Publish the project or the solution then option. But I would not use the solution. To me, it is error prone. Okay. I will. Hello. Console 19. And I'm going to copy that again. The option on the previous one. Yep. Self content is true. Okay, let's execute this one. So this is the publishing of console in .NET 9. Is it smaller or bigger? Let's see. But this has no trimmer yet. I believe it will be maybe bigger because yeah, we all know that .NET 9 has new features. So it takes some time to generate the publish single file. Okay, we have 61 seconds. And let's do this in .NET 8. Oh, hang on. I need to move this one. .NET publish. I think I just removed the 90. Should work. So basically, these two CS ports is the same, but it has different DFM. So this one is using .NET 9, this one is using .NET 8, and it is also using .NET 8 as the publish. It can be that the duration of the build may be longer or maybe quicker. Let's see. Hopefully, this should show some noticeable improvement. In .NET 9, we have 61 seconds. I get the feeling or the impression it is longer. Very, very, it's more than 1 minute. Do I have some Nougat packets? Maybe. Let's check. I don't remember. Okay. Publish does not support. Oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot. Let's add dash F. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have dash F. My fault. My fault. Dash F. Net zero. Okay. Okay, that's why it's taking quite long to compile. Okay. Yeah. So the compile has been done. Now it's generating the publish single file. Let's look at this folder and see the size of the generated executable. That would be this. And let's go to publish. Now we have about 65.9 megabyte. Let's go to the property to see the exact one. So we have okay, the exact number of bytes is 67544. Okay, I think I will just copy this and put it on my notepad. Yeah, this is net x0. And for net 9, source net 9, this one been released. Yeah, published by default. It is using the release configuration. Yep, we have a larger file here, 69 megabyte. Yeah, we have a larger file. Now let's try the trimming. 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 Publish apps. Put publics. Trim self. Trim self-contained deployment and executables. Close this collection. And what option do we have? Okay, we can use the dash B here. Okay. Now that we are in this .NET, let's just paste that option on the previous command. So dash P colon publish stream equals to true. Run this. Hmm, so fast. Let's see. Okay, yeah, as you see, I don't have to specify the RID, right? Because by default, it tries to match the only target of the operating system that I run this build. So let's go to this one again. I need to close this and go to the source pin release net x0 RID and the publish. Okay, we have 11.8 megabytes. Let's look at the property. That would be around 12. Okay, I'm going to paste here. This is for net 8, of course. And for net 9, let's go to this one and run the previous net 9 publish. Okay, and paste this guy. This is the previous size. Sub content to true. Okay, I'm going to copy this, publish, and let's run this. So now I have a colorization of the build output here on data 9. Okay, this is a nice addition. It's good to know that we have colorization. Yeah, I think this is useful. I should mention this on the notable notable what's new features in data 9. Okay, so let's compare this. Okay, compare this to .NET 9. Is it improved or not? But let's see. Oh, I see. We have a larger size, 12753. Yeah, but it is not much. Yeah. This one is larger, 12753,042. Okay, yeah, it is larger. But in the official doc that I have here, you can also publish with Visual Studio, of course, and it will generate publish profile. This is almost equals to manifest, but I think it is not quite good because in the end, if you are part of a team that develop enterprise app, your code will be executed on a CI or and then CD. First, you will have a continuous integration, and I don't recommend this. You should just use command prompt. So let's look at the option. Hmm, Option. Yeah, this is the enable trimming inside DCS parts. By default, it is full. So good. You can also have option to either you want to have static dependencies or not. So you can read this whole option for trimmer on the official docs. Yeah, I will update my slide to have this link. And now let's try to check whether we can have trimmer on WinForms. So debug support. Yeah, we have more options here. Stack trace support. Work features disabled when streaming. Okay, let's look what we have here. I have a sample WinForms. So let's do that. .NET publish sample WinForms. And let's copy the rest of the parameters here. Oh, I need to specify the chessboard as well. Control V. .NET publish this one. Simplify. True. Yup. Okay, still fail with one error. Windows Form is not supported or recommended with trimming enabled. Yeah, you still cannot do this on WinForms. Also on WebWeb. Okay, but I think this is not quite not too important. As long you know that usually if you just only have publishing a file, I think it's okay. I have already presented the demo on copying the exe and the other files on other operating system, other Windows of course, because it's only running on Windows. I've run the single file exe on Windows Server 2000, I think 2019. Let's see my VM here, and it was okay, still okay. So hang on, this is Windows Server 2019. Yeah, it was okay. So we don't have any kinds of problems there. Let's go back to the command prompt. Now we have publish. We have many things. I think yes, and we have seen that we cannot have trimmer on WinForms and WPF. I don't know whether we can have trimmer on Maui. That requires me to create a new project in Maui, and that takes some time as well. Okay, let's try to move on to the next new features or the other new features of .NET 9. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. So there is built-in support for Open API. Let's see if I could have some quick demo on this one. And okay, now let's look for ASP.NET. Where is it? Where is it? ASP.NET. ASP.NET. We will discuss .NET Aspire in the other videos as well. And yeah, I have planned to speak about .NET Aspire next month, but it's for my local developer community, of course. Where is ASP.NET? ASP.NET. Okay, there you are. What is ASP.NET Core? ASP.NET documentation. ASP. Okay, ASP.NET Core overview. And let's go to what's new. And then we should have an open API here. Okay, so this is very useful if you create ASP.NET Core app using Web API template, because Web API template is usually doesn't have a visual HTML UI. The web page doesn't have to, but you can query the documentation. Now you can just add map open API. So let's look at the sample of ASP.NET Core that I already have here. Oh, I have ASP.NET Core Web API 9.0. Let's check that. Is it already available on my SLN? Let's look at the SLN content of that .NET 9. Okay, let's see. Oh, I already included. This is great. So sample web ASP.NET Core Web API. Oh, no, no, no. This is for net. Oh, oh. This is wrong. Okay, I'll try to fix this inside Visual Studio, not inside Visual Studio Code, of course. And okay, continue with that code. Hopefully this is fixed soon. Yes. And this one. You see that this is wrong, so I'm going to delete this. Delete. Delete. Yep. Remove. And let's go see this web API, I think. Okay. As I have mentioned before, this web API thing. Oh. So if app environment is in development, it has open API. Okay, let's look at the launch setting here. Doesn't mention anything about open API. The ASP.NET Core environment is in development, of course. Okay. Launch setting. Yeah, you can have a .http file here. And the nice thing is, this is put inside the project by default. And if you right-click this line, send request, try to compile first. Oh, it will install the .NET Interactive first. Waiting response. Target machine actively refused. Okay, 51x0. 51x0. HTTP. Do I have to run this? Okay, let's set this as start project and run it. Run it, run it, run it. Hmm. HTTP. Okay, so for HTTP, oh, I can have HTTPS as well. Okay, let's use HTTPS for HTTPS. Yep, it is running. And let's go back to this HTTP file and send request. Now we have the temperature here. So the source code that you see here, it is, yeah, it is embedding the API directly with this mapget. This code means that for any HTTP request that you get, like this one, weather forecast, without any query string, then it returns this code or this logic, and it has name of get weather forecast. Get weather forecast, and it is using record. So this is quite new in, I think, in .NET 7 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. C# record. The context is almost the same as F# record, but the semantic is not the same. I will discuss this in a separate video. I think it's more like language and runtime features instead of the whole general concept of .NET itself. So, okay, send request and debug here. We already have here. By default, you will have a minimum API like we have here, and this will get some problems if you want to have a organization like the original web API, which is have a API put as a controller. So this open API thing, document name JSON. Okay, let's try to. Oh. Hang on. HTTP host address is HTTP localhost. Uh, 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 uh. I think I'm going to stop this first. Tracer. Okay. It seems I could just browse to that page, maybe. Let's see. Is there a way to click that? No. Okay. So put from build, no. Debug, no. Where was that? Oh, okay. Now listening on CTP localhost blah blah blah. Huh? Different. Okay. Open API. No. No web page was found. 7137. Is that 7137? Oh, click the wrong. Yeah. Oh, listening on this. And paste. Why it is redirected to this guy? Okay, let's try other browser. No. Paste and go. Paste and go and no, no pitch. Okay. Oh, okay. Install the Microsoft ASP.NET Core Open API. They already have this map Open API, so why do I have to? Ah, man. Okay, I'm going to stop this first. Okay. Reopening it again. 7112. Why it is using 7112? This is not nice. It is showing purely JSON without any kinds of UI. Microsoft ASP.NET Core Open API. Okay, I will try to check this first. This is it needs pre-release. Really? Okay. If this takes long, then let's discuss this on next video. Let's look at the NuGet packages. Okay, I already have it. So version 9. Let's go back to 7112. Open API slash v1 dot JSON. Open API slash v1 dot JSON. Okay, I'll try that. Look at the generated. Slash on one API. You, you are Jason. There you are. You have open API that says weather forecast, required date, temperature summary, and the detail of the parameters, the type and the format is also showing here. It tells us the server. There are two URL. One is this one, and the other one is using HTTP instead of HTTPS. Okay, the next one is, to me, this is not quite, you know, not quite nice to see. Let's close this one. Usually I get nice HTML UI that shows this kind of information in a more visual way or nicer way. Yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, not disappointing, but if you have to do that on your own, I think it seems like you have to create some manual, you know, lifting in order to really display that kind of information in nicer way that usually we have if we use Swashbuckle, for example. Okay, let's look at this one. Doing the security key clock out thread or IDC HTTP6 hybrid cache. I'm not going to demo for that too specific. Mm, Generate open API document. Yeah, it doesn't suit with the visualization. Yeah, this proves my point. You still have to. Oh my god. Yeah, you still have to add your own. It's almost like a half bacon, I'm afraid, for normal user. Okay, but this already proves my point that the infrastructure for generating open API is already there, and the necessary NuGet package is already there too. Like you already have this Microsoft ASP.NET Core Open API version 9.0.0 that proves that this is external, of course, but it is part of the .NET 9 release. Which brings another interesting question. Why did Microsoft decide this as an external? To me, you can just include it as is. Or do they want to have this as a NuGet or external NuGet package to be developed in somehow more, independent way? I don't know. Because if you have an independent way to develop this NuGet package, meaning that the development will be much faster instead of being part of the overall ASP.NET Core development cadence or development team. But there is no definite proof for that. We could just ignore it for now. You can still add the swashbuckle as the documentation here. Oh, no, no, only the Swagger. Okay, Swagger or Redoc. And then use that to generate the page from the JSON. Scalar. This is, yeah, a little bit, yeah, how we can. I mean, if Microsoft has a way to quickly, you know, uh, have way to generate the doc itself, that would be great. Maybe it is not part of the must have features on ASP.NET Core. I don't know actually, but yeah, Spectral. No, no, no. Swagger UI. Oh my god. Okay, already proven that this work, the Open API, and you can read the rest on the Open API document section part of the ASP.NET Core documentation, of course. And let's go back to this slide here. I've already discussed and demo trimmer, and you already see the flash view on the documentation that I showed you before. So the next video will discuss the detail of the what's new in the .NET 9. And as you see, trimmer in .NET 9 is having a larger size. So it's not much. Hopefully they can start to fix it. But I think you already see that the trim is working. And the still not so nice thing is the trimmer for WFM forms are not working yet. This should work, hopefully. I know it is more like a platform specific, but it is worth to have this work. Because usually the WFM and Vim forms has too many, external dependencies on its own. Like if you have Vim forms, you already have the inclusion of the some DLL that bridge between WinForms and the Win32 API of Windows. That also goes to WPF actually, because you still have to have bridge to Win32 API and the bridge to DirectX API. If you are coming from the .NET framework like I did, you will remember that WPF on .NET framework is actually .NET running on top of the CLR plus some bridging to DirectX and also some DLL to facilitate all of the interoperability that goes back and forth between the Win32 and the DirectX and the way the WPF tries to display the window, and you will see not just window but also controls. You can add some 3D drawing, 3D rendering on that WPF app. Any WPF app will have that. Of course, it is different from WinForms, but the baseline technology that is used in both WPF and Windows are quite the same. And it is a little bit alarming that the progress rate of WinForms and WPF are not so much like Maui. But we'll see. Because I think I still believe that WinForms and WPF has larger user base or larger, user or especially the developer as part of user that use that instead of Maui. But the final choice is up to you. To me, I still code in WPF and WinForms because that also mostly used by my customers, and also it is quite yeah, I should state it makes sense, but it is mostly understood by most .NET Framework developers or engineers. This is why when they are trying to learn .NET Core and when they see that there is a WinForms and WPF in .NET Core, they still stick to it instead of trying to learn Maui. You may find it a little bit strange, but it is true in sense of if you are coming from .NET Framework world instead of learning from fresh new start, let's say from .NET 5. From .NET 5, then you are not having some you know uh, understanding of what are the WinForms and WPF should be. Okay, and now that concludes this video, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe because .NET 9 is getting more exciting. Oh, I should mention to you, this is the look of my OpenSUSE. You see, I have the SDK here, .NET 9, and I don't have that on my Ubuntu. So if I run this one, .NET, I still have 8.0, and I installed it on this Ubuntu using Snap because the original SDK cannot be updated. I don't know why. This is why I told you I prefer to use Snap, as the original SDK only have the features starting from 1. I've tried to update it and it goes only 1. It says here I already have the latest SDK, which is to me is disappointing because I need to ensure that I have the SDK that is also equals to the SDK on Windows. At least the initial feature, the number 4, should be the same as the one that I have on my Windows machine. Yep, that's fact. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe and see you next week. Bye bye.